Hi friends, it's Miss Doty again. I thought that we could read another poem from Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. Remember, he's the author and the illustrator of these poems, so that means he has written the words and he has drawn the pictures. Now, before we get started reading this poem, I want to talk a little bit about ways that we can be a good reader. So, a big part of being a good reader is being able to read the words in a text, being able to look at a word and right away know what it says because it's a sight word, and also being able to look at maybe some new unfamiliar words and say the sounds in them and figure out what the word is. So that's a really important part of being a good reader, being able to read the words in the text. Another part of being a good reader is being able to think about what words are in the text, being able to understand what you're reading. So, part of understanding and thinking about the words in the text is thinking about what you read after you finish reading it and remembering it. And also, part of being a good reader and a good thinker about text is being able to do some thinking before you even start reading the words in a story. So I'm going to look at the pictures in a story, look at the title of the story, the cover, if it's a story in a book by itself. And those are all things that are going to help me understand what I'm about to read. So if I look at this poem, see right here that this poem is called Ourchestra. The title is Ourchestra. And that's a new word for me. I've never heard the word Ourchestra. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And if I look at the illustration that goes with this poem, I see that it is two friends, and it looks like they're trying to play music even though they don't have any instruments. Normally when we play music, we play on instruments like pianos or guitars or violins or drums or clarinets or trumpets. And these friends, it looks like they're doing some music, but we've got someone who he's got his drumsticks but no drum. Maybe he's going to use his fluffy belly as a drum. And we've got another friend, and it looks like, oh my goodness, is that his nose? It looks like he's playing his nose like a clarinet. So it looks like these friends are using their bodies to make music in a little bit of a different way. So this poem is probably going to be about making music in a different way. Now, that has me thinking about what I know about music. And I know that a group of people who play music together can be called a band, or it can be called an orchestra. That's usually a big, big group of people who play music together. And I know the word orchestra, it sounds a lot like the title Ourchestra. I have the words written here. So they are written very, very close, very, very similar. Okay, they're just some differences. Ourchestra and orchestra. So, based on seeing the illustration where it was of friends playing music together in a kind of silly, different way, I think that the word ourchestra it maybe is a word that Shel Silverstein made up to talk about how those friends are playing music in a different silly way. So I think it's kind of a silly joke title. Instead of a regular orchestra where people play musical instruments, I think the Ourchestra is going to be about friends playing music in a little bit of a silly, different way. So let's read the poem and let's see if the thinking I've done now, before we've even started reading, is going to help me understand the poem when we do read it together. Ourchestra. So you haven't got a drum? just beat your belly. So I haven't got a horn. I'll play my nose. So we haven't any cymbals. We'll just slap our hands together. And though there may be orchestras that sound a little better, with their fancy, shiny instruments that cost an awful lot, hey, we're making music twice as good by playing what we've got. And here are the friends again. So I was right. This friend is playing the drums on his belly, and this friend is playing a horn on his nose. They are using what they have and their imaginations to make music, even though they don't have all the things that you normally need to be in an orchestra. And that's a really good lesson for us to be thinking about and learning during this time. Right now, we don't have the things that we normally need to be able to learn at school together. We don't have our classrooms, we don't have our desks, we don't have our libraries, and we don't have our classroom where the teacher and the students are all together. Instead, we are being like the friends in the story Ourchestra, and we are using what we have. We are being flexible and creative and coming up with other ways to learn, even though we cannot be at regular school together. So we are doing YouTube videos like this. We are doing learning activities on our computers and our iPads. We are Zooming or video chatting with each other. We are doing our packets at home. There are so many things that we're doing together to keep learning and keep doing our school together, even though it's not regular school. We've got our e-learning, our computer school going on right now. So when you don't have the things that you need, you work with what you have. And that's exactly what all the teachers and all the friends at home have been doing during this time of e-learning. So we've learned about being flexible, and we've learned about being creative, and we've learned about using what we've got. So we're learning twice as good. All right, friends, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.